Four key players are expected back for Manchester United as we take on Nottingham Forest in our first game after the international break. That is on Tuesday. But the bigger news is that Patrick Dogu is also in the team after sitting out his 3-match ban. Welcome to the Nettle Sport. My name is Webb, and let's get it. Like, share, and subscribe. Guys, listen, it's been a time, I think, of worry and concern and misery for the most part for Manchester United, but things are beginning to fall in place for United at the right time because, listen, in time for the running, definitely you want to see some of your players back because the final 2 months of the season are always going to be very challenging because you're giving your all, as all teams are just giving their all, because there is nothing to protect, there is nothing to calculate for, to be calculative about. You just go all out because you're trying to finish as highly as you can. Now, for Man United, and I want to put this to you, where do you expect Man United to end the season? Currently, we are lying 13th on the pile with 37 points. I think personally that Man United can actually finish 10th, and for me, that would be respectable enough for Ruben Amorim. But for that to happen, the players who have returned will be very important in terms of providing that those options for Ruben Amorim. Remember, we do have an important Europa League campaign to also compete for. It's not just about the Premier League and where we finish, but the Europa League is also there for the taking. Man United, for me, on paper, look like the best team in the Europa League, and we've got every right to feel like we can claim it. So certainly, I think these players will bring in that bit of depth for Ruben Amorim, for him to have options and rest a few of his players, because as we've seen in recent months or weeks, that Man United players cannot really go for so many games without falling off, except if you're a player like Nusa El Mazraoui, who even during his period of fasting, he's playing every minute and quite thoroughly well. So, but most of these Man United players are not really that fit. But Kobbie Mainoo is one of those who is expected to be in the squad. Then we also know that Leny Yoro could be returning. Aiden Heaven could be a surprise guy still in the squad. So is Harry Maguire. So those four will be returning from injury. Now, you certainly know that Maguire is an important option in the backline for Ruben Amorim, giving a chance for Mathis De Ligt to rest, because De Ligt doesn't seem to be 100% fit to be playing game in and game out. So he needs Harry Maguire as his proper backup. And I love how Ruben Amorim makes use of the two of them. Leny Yoro on the left, where he's more comfortable playing, according to his own admission, certainly is important, coming in there because he was beginning to enjoy himself there. Then falls off. Aiden Heaven comes in, but Heaven too falls off. But I think one thing I'll be excited about Heaven on the left is seeing how consistent he can be, but also how far off he has fallen after that small injury setback. But also, the bromance between Heaven and Dogu on the left made that wing look exciting. The few minutes we saw them together made it look exciting. I remember a beautiful pass in particular where Heaven chipped the ball on the left flank, chipped it to go and find Patrick Dogu on the left. It was something you don't see often from players in Man United. I thought it looked good and sweet. You love to see more of that, but also see whether Patrick Dogu has improved in the few days he has not been playing in the Premier League. The couple of weeks he's missed because of the ban. Did he improve in terms of his final ball? Because that is, for me, the one thing that was lacking. His tackling was good and aggressive, getting himself in good positions to win the ball back, and he wins the ball in good highly when the opponent has not advanced into our area. I love that about him. He's aggressive, loves to shoot, has improved on his shot, has improved on his final cross or delivery. These are things I want to see in Dogu, but I also want to see him partner with Aiden Heaven and see what more they can do. Then for Kobbie Mainoo, it's an opportunity for us to see Kobbie Mainoo playing in a better, more improved Man United team, because when he was falling off, United was still struggling. That was, I think, at the peak of the struggles for Ruben Amorim. Now he comes in a better squad. If the last games we had before the international break are anything to go by, Højlund is even scoring goals. I want to see how Kobbie Mainoo fits in, and for me that will be very important. Leave alone the contract talks and what's going on away from the pitch. For me, that is for the for the concerned parties to sort. But I want to see where Kobbie fits into this team. Is he still a 10? Is he going to be dropped back as a deep midfielder? What exactly is the plan for Kobbie Mainoo in the Ruben Amorim setup. Very important for me. And I want to see how that goes. So a lot to be excited about after this international break. No jitters. Some of our players did play well. I told you Rasmus Højlund squad. I'm seeing there actually, dropping videos and stats about him and how he could score 20 goals before the end of the season or even more. We'll talk about that. I think we'll talk about him later as we count down to the return of the game, because it's on Tuesday at 10 p.m. against Nottingham Forest. But I do want to see how the whole team will look after this largely positive international break for Man United players. Bruno, his Portugal fought and came back and won in the return leg against Denmark, but Højlund will be happy about the fact that he scored. Eriksen, the same thing. He did have a goal. Dogu did assist for Denmark. So there is a bit of a beautiful, positive vibe around the players that I think we can pick from and be able to put on a good challenge against Nottingham Forest. I feel like the Nottingham Forest game has come at the right time. The players will have enough time to rest on the international break. Those who did not go into the break have rested enough. Amorim has had a bit of more time with some of these other players to train with them. So everything for me around Man United points to no reason for us to think we are going to drop back and fall off into the mediocre United we were 4 or 5 games ago. So everything for me looks headed in the right direction. And that's my hope, that this is going to be a beautiful return and a beautiful run-in for Man United as we push to finish 10th in the Premier League and perhaps win the Europa League. Though, as I insist, it shouldn't be a target. It shouldn't be something we target with pressure. It shouldn't be something for us to be judged on, because, and I was hearing people, Happy, who comments about everything, who has a negative comment about everything I say. I was saying that as Man United we should be, I think it's Happy or someone else, if I'm not mistaken. He was saying that if Man United we must be competing for titles. Yes, we must be. But what I'm saying is we shouldn't put it as a target to invite pressure upon ourselves, because if we do that, then if we don't achieve it, we are going to feel bad. We are going to be judged on, for example, winning the Europa or finishing in a particular position in the Premier League, even if you say you want to finish 10th. Whereas it's good to have targets. I think United now, the way this season has gone and how bad it has been, they would rather just enjoy their football and improve and let the title come in as a bonus, as something to feel good about. But let's not put the pressure on ourselves to compete. That Man United must compete for a title. This squad is honestly, for a long time, has not been good enough to compete for that. We could as well win the Europa League, but if we've not improved, it will be the same thing we did with the FA Cup. The FA Cup confused everyone into believing that we are okay. We beat Man City to win the FA Cup title. Ineos gave Ten Hag more time, but clearly we knew that United was not good enough, and we were just lucky to beat Manchester City. And our ego might have been massaged then, but the reality is we are still a poor team. So for me, I would rather focus on the play, improving how the team plays, the jailing, the fitness of the players, getting to see which problems we have that we need to solve in the summer, than having the pressure of competing for a title. Because if you put that in the back of your mind, even the approach to games will be different. I'm not saying we cannot want to win. I don't know whether it makes sense. That's I wanted to clear that, to explain that properly. That whereas these players are coming in, yes, they offer depth, and that is again more hope and belief that with more players you can have a chance to win a title. A title, or even finishing 10th or even 8th, should not be placed as a target and a benchmark of how successful the run-in is going to be, or the final months for Amorim are going to be. Let it be a bonus. But let's focus on the performance of the team, improving consistently, end the season as highly as we can, go into the preseason with a better mentality, more belief in what Amorim is doing, so that the signings come in, we've identified all the problems we have, and we just solve them and hope that after the preseason, when the next season starts, United can then clearly have a target, which certainly will be top 4, and maybe a respectable finish in whichever cup we'll be playing in, whether it's the Europa League or the Champions League if we are back. But even if it's not, we've got, for me, to take it one step at a time, in my honest view. My name is Webb. This is the Network Sport. Like, share, and subscribe. And there you go, guys. There you have it. I will be back later with more, because United is that gift that doesn't stop giving.